So the other day I had the thought that Pickle Rick is the perfect shape for a topwater lure. Look at that. Nice and basic. If I lift his head up just that tad, line hanging down the bottom, bit of weight in the belly, in the tail, he'll sit down and he should walk the dog. So let's see if a bass will eat a Pickle Rick lure. I need some wood. Topwater, buoyant. Probably just going to use pine again, as usual, because it's easy to work with and I've got to carve some small details in little Pickle Rick's face. So 20 by 40 pine, reused, second-hand pine. Should be perfect. Let's get you cut out, Pickle Rick. So if you don't know who Pickle Rick is, he is the smartest man in the multiverse. He can turn himself into a pickle to avoid doing something he doesn't want to do. Pretty incredible skill. But will fish eat him? That is the real question here. If I was a fish, I would probably eat a topwater pickle. But I'm not a fish, I am a human. Great observation, Kai. Great observation. Glue stick. Here's a small little lure. Go. There he is, all ready to be cut out and shaped. So I just spent a solid 5 minutes looking for my earmuffs, and I don't know if you can see this, but they were there the whole time. So there you have him, all cut out, shaped out. Now I've just got to get the knife and shape him up and make him nice and round. Get him a nice pickle shape. So there you can see I've got it pretty rounded up just with the knife. Starting to look pretty pickly, so then I'll just define that shape with the sandpaper. And thought just occurred to me, I've never actually eaten a whole pickle. I've only ever eaten the delicious squash spicy stuff you put in sandwiches out of the jar. Are they just cucumbers? Pickled cucumbers? Is that what they're called, pickles? Rather than the orange vegetable? I need to look this up one day. The questions you think of. Things that pop into your head while you're sanding a pickle lure. Pickle questions. This just reminded me of Bad Santa. When Thurman Merman cuts his hand, making Santa a wooden pickle for Christmas. I'm actually making a wooden pickle. Who would have thunk? 26 years old and making wooden pickles. I don't know if that's a warning or not. Warning sign for what the future will bring, but I'm having fun. That's all that matters. So simple hook hangers, belly, Where should I put the belly one? Put in accuracy in the center. We'll make sure he's in center. Keep him sitting nice and flat in the water. Have one coming out of his pickle butt. Out of the pickle butt, just like that. And then on the front hook hanger, because I'm going to put a heavier split ring on the back. I'm not going to put any weight in him. He's not going to need any weights because he's so small. I'll put a heavier split ring on the back, which will just make him sit down like this a bit more. Tail down, I should say. And then I'll have the line tie coming off just here. Kind of just like that. I don't know if you can see that. Just like that, down directional. So when he's sitting like that, the line will be pulling straight down. Do his little walkie walk. So get this marked out and drilled out, and then we can make some screw eyes for the pickle. So that is my reference photo. Good old Pickle Rick on the bench. So I'm just going to draw all the face details on and try, keyword is try here, to carve some of those details out. I mean, this lure is very, very small, and those details are going to be a pain to try to carve, but I might as well give it a crack, make it look a lot better if I can pull it off. So there's my reference photo, and there's my little Pickle Rick. Alright, let's give this a crack. Warning though, I may screw it up. I've decided I'm going to paint it on. It's just way too small and fiddly to carve. You can see. I've just done his monobrow, but it's so small I have to take all that material off around it. I can't even fit the eye carving in. Focus. Yeah, by the end I get to that. By the time I finish it, it's just going to be butchered. And it's way too small and detailed to actually get sandpaper in there and clean it out, so I don't know, I think I'm just going to fill this in, sand it back, and then I will paint all those details on and try to do my best with them. I just ended up sanding out those face carvings. Turned out fine. Let's make some hook hangers. There you have it, perfect little tie wire. Well, hook hanger I should say. Make a couple of those and glue them in. So I'm just going to flood these holes with super glue. Even though these hook hangers are so small, when they're all wound up that tight, they're very, very strong. Very hard to pull out. I'm not catching huge fish, like overly powerful fish. Like you can get a big bass and they could potentially bust one of these out, but I highly doubt it. Not with how the tension and the rigidity of that is very strong. And with all those ridges going in, twisting into the bait with that glue, it's not going anywhere. So I'll just cut him a bit shorter and get him glued in. Super glue is then incredibly strong. People underestimate the power of it, but in all honesty, it's probably a lure maker's best friend a lot of the time. There you go. All hook hangers are in. Just let that glue dry and they're never coming out. All I need to do now is seal it and paint it and clear coat it, and honestly I could probably fish this afternoon. Try to get a bass on it. Pickle Rick's face right there. So I just sealed it. Bait's all sealed with super glue. Didn't film it. Nothing too special. Just rub super glue over it, all over it, seals it in. Gonna sand it down and paint it. This only took me like, I'm not sure, like maybe an hour. It's about 2:30 now, so hopefully I can get it painted and clear coated, and maybe I'll be able to catch a fish in it Savo. So I'll give them a nice light sand and get to painting. So it's got the green base coat down. It's a bit bright there, but all it is built up layers of tropical green, and it's pretty well close to my reference photo. Yeah, we'll have a look. So, Pickle Rick. Pickle Rick. So I'm going to mix in some tropical green with some white and do these highlights down the bottom. And that's pretty much the paint job, and then onto his face. Just decided to give it a quick light spray of some pearl green, just to give it that metallic shimmer. Should make it look quite nice before I head on to the highlights. You won't be able to see that, the lighting's pretty terrible, but you can see just that shimmer of pearl green on there. Makes them a bit darker too. That's what I'm after. Alright, on to the highlights. So there's the light highlight, just on his top. And then once his face and everything's on, it's going to blend it in a bit more. Alright, it's time to get onto his face, which is going to be the tricky part. So I'm going to start out with his monobrow here. Just with a bit of Maui blue. Yeah, it should be bright enough. I don't think I'll need any white. It should stand out to itself pretty well. So I'll see how that goes, and then I'll move on to his white eyes. And then onto his mouth, and I'll try to get some sort of detail in there. Under with his nose, draw his nose on, and then I'll paint his little pickle lumps on, and yeah, we'll see how I go. So there we go, there's his monobrow one, step one. Hit him with the heat gun and then onto his eyes with the white. Just going to use a cotton bud to dot the eyes on. There we go, they turned out pretty good, nice and symmetrical. Hit him with the heat gun, and then it's mouth time. There's a Pickle Rick mouth. Give it a go with the heat gun. I've got to dot the eyes too. And then I'll get some white and move on to his teeth. There you go, there's his teeth. I'll come back with some black underneath and try to tidy him up. Not too shabby, not perfect, but not too bad either. There you go. There's his mouth. All done. Not too shabby at all. I'm pretty happy with that. I'm going to give him... Oh, actually, I got to do his little pickle lumps everywhere. Onto that one now. So before I get onto all these little lumps, I'm going to go over and try get these defining lines. I draw his little nose on, get the lines under his eyes and the side of his mouth, just to give his face that bit more definition. And then we'll be on to do just some light and dark dots on his body, and all good to go. There you go, got those marks on his eyes. I think I might have should have just stuck to the nose. I think I've overcreated his face a little bit. But it is what it is now. I'm still pretty happy with it. Alright, let's get him pickle lumped up. There you go, got all these dots on. Heat set those, sign it, and then it's time for a clear coat. There you have it, everyone. There is a Pickle Rick Topwater lure. I'm pretty stoked with how he turned out. I reckon he looks pretty good. So just down the little river now. This is where I got all the fish, all the platypus lure. So hopefully there's still some that are willing to bite. I'm gonna have a cast of this fella, and I'll get the telephoto lens out and try to get some footage of his action for you all. But I reckon he's gonna work well. Look at that, nice action on him. Like a sporadic walk the dog, not perfect. But he definitely gets side to side, that's for sure. Had a hit on the pickle. As soon as it hit the water, but he missed it. Oh, that was a good cast too. I don't know if I can replicate that cast again without getting snagged. Must have been the same one before. Oh, stay on, buddy. Stay on, he's only small. Oh, that's so good. Oh, I'm so happy with that. Oh, it just makes me laugh. There you have it. An Australian bass on a Pickle Rick Topwater lure. It's just so good. I can't help but laugh. It's just so funny to me. That is classic. it makes me so happy. It's just so good to catch a fish from that lure. It's just such a silly idea, but I'm so happy with how it turned out, and catch a fish on it and it actually works really well. It just side to side like that with the rod tip, and have two fish hit it and have that one actually hook up. That was great fun. I hope I can get another one, a bigger one, and keep getting the fish up until dark. So good. I just really don't want to lose this lure. I'll keep swimming if I have to. Hope I can just cast more accurate from now on. There you go. That's the lengths I'll go to save the lure. Wait, 4 snag. Straight to that dead tree branch, snapped off my line. I couldn't have it, couldn't walk away. So I went for another swim and just shook it until the dead branch snapped off. And I got my pickle back. But it's definitely time to call it quits. I think it's a bit of a sign. Time to go home and save the pickle for another fishing session. So I'm back at home and still got the little lure. There he is. He's a bit beat up, but still got him after all those snags. He worked quite well. Got one nice fish on him. But yeah, that's not going to be the last you see of little Pickle Rick lure. I think I'm going to take him out to the flats and the salt water and see what saltwater species will eat him. I think that'd be good fun. So yeah, stay tuned, and there should be another Pickle Rick video coming up. Hope you like this video. If you do, let us know. Give us a like or subscribe, and yeah, it'd be nice to know what people think of these. If anyone, yeah. So thank you, and I'll see you on the next video.